Okay, here we go.
We're about to start a Gunters Universe episode.
VRChat.
Gunters
the
Universe
next
is starting
frontier.
right now.
These
Get
are
ready.
the experiences from Gunters Universe. His continuing mission, to seek out and connect with VR devs and passionate enthusiasts, to discuss theories, beliefs, and rhetoric of all kind, and to boldly go where no show has ever gone before.
Hello, everybody. Tonight on Gunters Universe, episode number 9, we talk with Cris Miranda from EnterVR, Mike Armstrong, the creator of RiftMax Theater, Haczar, one of the VRChat active community members, and Shannon Norrell, who is going to talk a little bit about his campaign, Burning Man VR Camp.
Woo! Burning Man.
So how's everybody doing? You know me, I'm your host Gunter, and I'm broadcasting live here from within the metaverse in VRChat. We do it every Tuesday. Thanks for joining. And got a great show tonight with me. We got a great studio audience around. Hello, audience. Hope you're all having a good time here. We've got a great show. And I got 4 fantastic guests to show us the light and show us the way.
We got Cris, we got
But first,
Shannon,
a
Mike
few
Arms, and
announcements.
Haczar. What's up, Haczar?
If you weren't here
Wolverine
last
Man.
week, we had a
They all
great
got
show.
little computers.
We had VR
So
Gaming
cool.
Evolve. We had on the show, we had Cause and Effects, K-Dog. We talked a little bit about
VR Gaming
SVR,
Evolve.
Surreal joining Oculus.
He's there next
and
to
even
me.
some porn.
Porn? What?
Let's see, what
Don't
else
talk
did
about
we
that
do this
stuff's
last
bad.
week in
You
events?
need to not-
Rubik
that's
over in
bad
Altspace
stuff, man.
did a screening of Kung Fury. That
so
was really awesome. Got
badass.
to check that out and meet some new people on the social VR scene. If you haven't seen
So
Kung Fury, why
badass.
haven't you? Because it's the
Oh,
bestest movie
yeah.
ever to be made in entire history of movies.
Oh, yeah, so cool
It's really
looking.
badass.
He looks so badass.
Check that
Evolve.
out.
Creepy.
And so we got some other events happening. One that just passed us was a hackathon over there in San Francisco. It was on May 30th. A lot of people got to check out Project Tango, and a few of those people are here with us tonight, so I can't wait to ask them about it. A few more events coming up, of course, is the San Francisco Burning Man VR Camp. We have Shannon here with us talk to us about that. That'll be coming up in a few months, Burning Man Festival. That's pretty awesome. There's also the Oculus Rift, Step into the Rift event coming up on June 11th, so that's just a couple weeks away, if not less than that. VRLA has a summer expo in Los Angeles Convention Center on August
VRLA.
9th, so there's a lot going on in this
VRLA.
VR
Hey,
scene of ours.
guys.
I mean, a
Tweet
year
it to
ago,
them.
we barely had anything like this, and now it's exploding, so pretty fantastic.
Cause and
Let's meet our guest.
Oh, shit.
We don't have Cris. I've been looking at my notes the entire time and didn't notice that he has ran off. So I will introduce him last. Hopefully he's back.
I hit
again.
V. I didn't mean to start talking.
With us tonight, we
I
have
don't
Mike
want to talk
Armstrong,
right
the
now.
developer of RiftMax. How are you doing, Mike?
Shh.
Good, Gunter. How's it going? Thanks
Oh,
for
it's
having me
going
on.
really well. Oh yeah, the privilege is all mine. It's been a little while since we hung out, and really glad to be doing that in VR again. We look a little bit different this time, though.
Yep, I noticed that, but it is good to be hanging out in VR. You know,
I noticed
haven't
that.
had as much of a chance to do that. Well, I've had a chance, but you know, with my full-time
You've
job,
been working
like,
on a lot
you
of
got to
things.
pick your time. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
Know
So
that.
we all have
Great
to work,
hanging
most
I
of
know
us.
that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we do this other stuff.
I gotta work.
oh, really? I thought I was the only
Passion
one that had a
project.
job.
Yeah.
I was the only one with a job,
Hopefully
man.
someday
Come on.
we can do VR full time. But yeah, you're the developer of RiftMax. You are
Wow.
still working on that project. Many of us have been wondering, where's RiftMax? And actually Rubik and a few others downloaded RiftMax again this last week and got it set up and played screened Kung Fury in there as well before the Altspace showing. So that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
Not
it's
sure
cool. I
Are you
mean,
aware of that?
Yep, it's really cool. Been working a lot on RiftMax, and you know, really looking forward to getting back in there with people. You know, maybe hanging out there too soon. So
It's like Stan Lee.
Yeah,
His
it's
eyes are all
a place that
fucked.
we all have spent a lot of time in, or at least many of us, right? And we tell the stories
Whoa.
to this day of karaoke night and
Weird.
all the good stuff that was going on there. Karaoke night's really my favorite. We hope to
I
see
think
that. soon.
the idea is to not let it fall into like the lore of like early VR, and keep it or make it relevant again, you know, because
Sure.
you know, I had certain ideas for where I wanted to go with it, and I think I've achieved a lot of those with the current build I'm working with, and hopefully people enjoy it, and we get to have some fun there, because you know, hopefully this summer is going to be, you know, RiftMax will get on that event calendar, and we can enjoy ourselves in VR, you know.
Yeah, and RiftMax is so good about events, so more events is definitely something I want to see, and I think a lot of our audience and watchers at home would like to see and participate in. So we're going to talk a little bit more about social VR later and stuff about the VRChat as well. So let's keep going around the table. We have Haczar to my right. Haczar's a community, VR community member.
Haczar!
Bringing a lot of avatars over. He's basically a beginner with Unity, a beginner with Blender.
Nice.
I think VRChat's helped give him a platform to bring stuff
express
into,
his work to the other people
it's been
around.
for a lot of us.
Positive
and
feedback.
Haczar, you're also
quick.
a medical student, so introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit.
Well, you kind of said everything, but yeah, man, just an avid listener of Chris Miranda's podcast. I use RiftMax a lot. I'm just an overall enthusiast of VR, and I'm always in the audience, and now I'm in this seat, so it's a pleasure, man.
Yeah, you've been a big help around here and part of the community. It's grown so much, and really appreciate you coming on the show and all the avatars that you've been sharing with people. And you're Wolverine tonight, and you look badass and your mouth moves. So I always like seeing the jawbone rigged up. It just adds a little bit more.
Yeah, totally.
Very cool. And to my left we have Cris Miranda. Some of you may have heard his voice once or twice before. He's a host of EnterVR, a wonderful podcast that is very much liked by myself. I got the pleasure of being on the show once, and it's also part of the whole VR Casters Network.
I can't help but hit the V button. I'm just used to touching it.
24/7 to your ear holes. Cris, how are you?
I don't like to interrupt.
I am doing well, and hello, fellow brethren of the metaverse. How's everybody doing?
Stop being a rude asshole, Caleb.
We're all doing very, very well. So you've actually had Shannon on your podcast, who
get out of the corner
talk
now
to in just a moment. So that's pretty cool. And what are some other people that you've had on recently on EnterVR?
Okay, so I'm dropping the bomb here. Sneak preview. Next podcast is going to be with Fove, and I got to get some really juicy information out of them that I think you guys are going to like. So be on the lookout for that next podcast.
Nice.
Wow. Yes, we are all very interested in that. We've talked about that a bit on previous shows. Every Day is definitely backing that project and had a lot to say about that, I think, 2 episodes ago, so episode 7. So, Fove, man, that's really awesome. I'll be tuning into that for sure. We also have Shannon, who's joining us. Shannon, is it Norrell? Am I getting that right?
Yep.
Sweet. And you're the organizer and suspender of disbelief with the Burning Man VR camp. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could say that.
So yeah, this is the first time I'm meeting you, but I did hear you on, I can't remember what podcast, maybe the Left-Handed VR, one of their Super Duper Turbo cast, or I'm not really sure where, but when I heard about that you wanted to bring Burning Man and VR together, I definitely went and gave a small donation. I couldn't give much, but you know, that's the sort of thing I'd like to see supported. And you have that current Indigo campaign running now, is that correct?
That's right. It runs for about another 2 weeks, I think.
So what are your goals with that campaign?
Well, I can go into more detail about what the camp is in a bit, but you know, the long and short of it is Burning Man's an event in the desert in the last week of August. About 70,000 people will be attending there. And my idea is to basically bring a small VR expo there. It consists of like demo expo booths that have, you know, sort of demo stations inside of it.
I really want to go.
We'll have about...
Can I go?
13 of those running.
Can
at
I
any
come?
time.
Can I come?
And then a big 20-foot by 30-foot screen where we'll be projecting VR content up on the big screen.
I'll set the
Motion
screen up.
capture suits,
I'll set the screen up. I'll set up
you
the
know,
projector.
riffs,
Can I come?
leap motions,
Come on.
6 Sense STEM systems, stuff like that.
Gear, maybe?
Yeah, plenty of gears.
Sure.
I've
Oh,
never
that's
tried the
right.
Gear VR. I would love to try the
Yeah,
Gear
let's
VR.
talk more
That'd be
about
so
that
cool.
later on. Maybe I should go to Burning Man. Sounds pretty fun.
Gunter, you
I don't know,
are, if you're
Chris,
not
what
going
do
to
you think?
Gunter,
Yeah.
if you're not going to Gunter, if you're not going to Burning Man, you need to go. You
Please
need
join
to go to
us.
Burning Man, okay?
Grace
Go.
us with
I
your
think
presence,
I
Gunter.
heard
Go.
you're going.
Grace
yeah,
us with
yeah.
your presence.
Yeah, it's
I
going to
definitely-
be epic.
Were you at SVVR, Shannon?
Whoa.
I was. I was the guy wearing the fish head.
Yeah, I met you there. That was cool.
Yeah, I met you there.
I
That's
definitely
hilarious.
want to go to
That's hilarious.
Burning Man.
Oh yeah, I met you there. Remember that one
VR,
time when we were there and I
the
met you?
VR place, you know.
Ooh.
So is that official, Mike? You're going to Burning Man in 2015?
Yeah, I mean, I joined their Facebook group.
If you
last
do it, I'll
year,
do it.
September. Oh yeah, I'll be there, Gunter. No doubt.
Okay.
As long as I
Okay,
get
that's it.
tickets, because I didn't get tickets yet, and I guess that's the big question.
Yeah.
60 Florida.
We have to be
The late
special enough.
tickets are
It's a nice
sold in
place.
like August, I think, or September, and I think it's
I
not
think
gonna
it
be
was
that
like
tough.
July 20 something. Yeah. Well, I guess you can't really buy. I
It's YouTube,
can't
are you
buy the
kidding
plane
me?
tickets left. I got my ticket. Oh well, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna go. I guess I'll just drive my RV there. That's gonna be a little expensive, but figure it out. Okay. So enough of that. Let's get into the show here. We're going to talk about a couple things like Google I/O and VR storytelling. Of course, we just talked about Burning Man, so we'll dive into that more, and Unity, VRChat, and that kind of stuff. So first up is Google I/O. There was the
That's
conference
great.
last week. There were a few things
I know he's
announced.
talking right now,
I
so it's
think
going to be hard
during
to
the
hear me.
show,
But what's
it
great
didn't
is that you
seem-
can like
didn't
drink
really,
alcohol while you're in your meetings. And if it's a
how
business
much
meeting,
was
they don't
actually
know.
shown
You
to
just
us
hit the little
until
mute
later,
button like
as
this,
I was
and you can be
seeing things posted on Reddit or watching some things on The Verge or whatnot. First, let's talk about Project, is it Soli? The whole input using radar thing. How many of you have checked that out? Or
See,
read
you didn't
about
hear
that?
anything,
Chris?
and it sounds like I was just being professional and quiet.
I
listening
have,
to you.
and I'm extremely impressed by it.
was
But
it talking
it's
about?
one of those things
Google
with
I/O?
Google where like their videos
See, I'm
look
listening.
really nice all the time.
Google's videos always look
and
nice.
you know, I talk about Magic Leap. They have a great marketing team, and unless I try the hardware, then I can't really say how good it really is. I think it's awesome, and I think we need it, but I also worry that people might accidentally, like brush over the radar, and then you're gonna turn your volume all the way up by accident. I don't know, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
I really am excited by it.
I mean, there's always a lot of ideas on how to do input in VR, which is a very hard thing to do, or, just lots of concepts out there. Of course, Google, has a little bit of weight, so it's very interesting, and I really do like the concept, whether or not it's, I don't know, it's pretty interesting how they've got that small chip there that is powering things. Whether or not it really works, still, just that form of input with your fingertips, with that small violin that you're playing. That's pretty interesting to me. How about you, Shannon? Have you heard of that project?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. So, yeah,
Seriously.
it's exciting. I've been pitching David Holtz, the guy that does Leap Motion, for a while, to come up with a library of gestures that are recognized. Let's say, patterns like you see with the Soli thing. It's got the tiny violin.
We were just talking about this.
Isn't it? And it's got the
No doubt we were
just
just
different gestures
talking
that are
about this
recognized.
the other
Your
day.
fingers, your
Leap
first
motion
finger and your
gestures
thumb
and
coming
similar on cell
together,
phone type things. You have so many different varieties of
flipping
gesture you can
through,
do.
things like that.
Boom, something pops up.
And what
because
that
you know a
amounts
specific
to
gesture. I'm
is
telling you, I've
a
already thought
lot
about
of
this. You do like an
sifting
S
through
with your
noise
finger or something
through,
like that, and it
very
knows what to
analog
do.
sort
Everything
of
could be
data
set
that's recorded,
gesture.
and it's pattern recognition is what it is, like curve fitting, shall we say. And for me, that's pretty exciting stuff in that they have developed a library of recognizable gestures based on this curve fitting, and a little bit of fuzzy logic applied to that. So with the radar system, is it called Solis, right? Solis, I think.
Ping pong, where you going?
That's what I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that.
So
So the thing I'm hoping that they do is they don't burn those recognized gestures into the chip itself, and that the chip just feeds data into a software stack software layer that would then you can update and have it recognize different gestures. So over time, we'll want it to evolve. There may be custom applications that need different gestures than others. So I think it has great promise.
Yeah, I like how it, with input, we want to kind of minimize the amount of effort we need to exert to change things, whether it's, how we interact with mostly now with computers, with our mouse. There's not a lot of impact on how strenuous that activity is forced so that we can repeat it many times. And also, of course, with touchscreens,
I'm looking at a computer on this dude.
Doesn't require a lot of effort.
You see that guest over there? He's like me.
Interesting solution. I feel like we need a solution that
guest over there's like
not a lot of effort, not really minority screens or things like that. And, I've definitely got enlightened a little bit hearing Oliver Kralos talk about how, those minority report sort of inputs kind of give you this gorilla arm that you're always holding your arms and, flailing through the air.
And of course, I've got a cat running on the table and
so strong
standing
and
still.
becoming this super arm.
And a tiny
because
laptop.
You're constantly doing that, which isn't practical at all. What about you, Mike? What do you think of this project Soli? Have you heard about it?
Most of what I've heard about is what I'm learning right now, but Google's got like some great minds at work here, and the stuff that you're seeing like come up in VR, like input is a huge one that Google could get in on and be like a leader in, because they didn't come right off the bat and get their HMD. So this input kind of reminds me of this thing that these people made that goes around your wrist. I think it was a Kickstarter a while ago, and it reads your nerves and your wrist and tells it what your fingers are doing. And you literally just make gestures with your hand, and it like knows what your hand's doing.
There's something I gotta look up real quick.
Yeah, I don't have as much input on this as these other guys, but I'm sure that I'm sure whatever it is, they're putting their R&D and everything into it. It looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, just the fact that Google's working on it, that there's an actual input solution they're working on. And as you can see in this video, which Kenny showed me earlier, I guess, is this the same? No, this is onto a Tango video, so I'm actually using a InstaSync website to sync up all these videos, but previously we were seeing the chip, the radar chip that went from, I don't know what that was, like a few feet by a few feet in size down to that small little chip. Let me put it back on, which they did in 10 months. It went from really big to really small. And just a couple other notes. I noticed that I'm like jumping up and down and weird stuff. So this most recent release of VRChat that just got Uni 5 support is a little bit buggy. So you may see stuff like that, or you obviously can notice the big bright bloom effect coming from the table. Please ignore that. Will be fixed later. But yeah, while I get that video playing again with the chip size, Haczar, have you heard about this? What do you think?
The hand is the ultimate input device. We use.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I watched the conference, and I have two concerns about it.
And turning it into
one being,
a sensor.
what Cris was
Radar
saying.
is a technology.
If, like, you do things by accident, if the recognition is actually, precise enough, so you can do the things you intend to do. And from a medical perspective, I mean, I believe that I read that it was a 90 hertz antenna, and having something, that's with you all the time, and having that type of a signal being emitted, I'm not sure, if that's safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting point. I'd have no idea, but that's coming from the medical field, which you're involved in. That's definitely a good question to be asking.
You should have seen their other prototype that used X-rays.
Exactly. That's definitely not something you want to always have on you.
So up on the screen, see that big microchip? The biggest one you saw to the left. That's how it started. That large one, like, it looks a bit ridiculous in my opinion for there. In 10 months they go to that tiny little one that you've seen in the commercial or seen in the video if you have seen it, which I'm gonna throw up right now. That's a bit remarkable.
Imagine 10 years
itself. Well, right, we always like to talk about, right? Like, oh, things are getting faster and they're growing Moore's law or whatever it is. But that's an actual way, like, you can see it there. You see their development in just 10 months and the size that the microchip, went from. That gives me hope that we really are going to be changing at such rapid speeds that I'll be able to see all that in my lifetime, hopefully.
I'm wondering if part of that is
let me put on the video. Go ahead.
Their initial designs, as they get it more solidified, they decide to make it smaller. Like, not that it's the actual technology that's getting smaller in this case, But like as their design gets more closer to what they're ready for, they I don't know. That's what I was wondering the same thing.
Project Soli.
Okay, bear with me while I get all this set up.
Soli looks really cool.
Yeah, I want it.
Kind of like the original Rift was like really ugly,
How can we take this incredible capability, finesse
Hey Kyle,
of human
for me
actions,
you're kind of
finesse
blocking a lot of the
using our hand,
screen.
but apply
Can you
it
move to
the
one of the other
virtual
sides
world?
for me?
We use radio frequency spectrum, which is radars, to track human hand. The radars has been used for many different things. To track
There's this
cars,
floating head
big
in my
objects,
video.
satellites and planes. We're using them to track micro
You have to move over here.
twitches of human hands, and then use that to interact
Yeah, look at this.
with wearables and Internet of Things and other computing devices.
You will
Our team is focused on taking
controlling your
radar
mouse
hardware
or your watch,
and turning it
just with,
into a
you don't have to
transfer
touch
sensor. Radar is a
hardware,
technology
computers
which
anymore. You don't have to
transmits
touch
a radio
anything. You can
wave
just
towards a target.
hands-free it.
And then the receiver of the radar intercepts the reflected energy from that target.
Oh yeah,
You don't have
Gunter.
to touch anything
We're
again.
able to interpret so much
I wonder
from
where you
this
saw
one
this
radar
again.
signal is because of the full gesture recognition
Wonder.
pipeline that we've built. The various stages of this pipeline are designed to extract specific
Pretty
gesture
washed out
information
video.
from this one
Wonder-
radar signal that we
wonder who sent it
receive
to
at a
you?
high frame rate.
I'm still trying to process the
From
radar
these
side
strange
of it.
foreign range Doppler signals, we're actually interpreting human intent.
There
Radar
we
has
go.
some unique properties when compared to cameras, for example. It has very high positional accuracy, which means that you can sense the tiniest motions.
120 X-rays.
We arrived at this idea of virtual tools because we recognize that there's certain archetypes of controls, like a volume knob or a physical slider, a volume slider. Imagine a button between your thumb and your index finger,
Oh, it's a bummer. I can't
and
see it.
the button's not there. But pressing this is a very clear action, and there's a natural physical haptic feedback that occurs as you perform that action. The hand can both embody that virtual tool, and it can also be, acting on that virtual tool at the same time. So if we can recognize that action, we have an interesting direction for interacting with technology.
So when we started this project, me and my team, we looked at the project idea and we thought, are we going to make it or not? We don't know. But we have to do it. Because unless you do it, you don't know.
And what I think I'm most proud of about our project is we have pushed the processing power of the electronics itself further out to do the sensing part for us.
The radar has a properties which no other technology has.
Okay, so unfortunately a lot of
So
that video gets washed out for us.
I have a
because of
comment really quick, Gunter.
Yeah, Chris.
So the thing about seeing this is that I want, what I'm wondering is like how much more efficient can this possibly be? Is this maximizing my ability to interact with the computer world? Like how does this stack up to the what we already have? And so that's going to be interesting when it releases. That's going to be my benchmark, as to how I'm going to judge it. If I can do things faster, because otherwise, why do we need it? Unless we're in the age of non-existent antibacterial medicine, then we can't be touching objects. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think since we do have that sort of mentality, I think this will just fit right in with that. But what about eye tracking? And so now whatever buttons I'm looking out in my real world, whether it's buttons on my radio player or buttons on anything else, like it knows which one I'm looking at, and then with my fingertips I can just control that, turn it up, turn it down, whether it's that sort of motion or tap or I'm sure there's many other things that can be mapped to this sort of touch. Well, it's like air touch input. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm thinking there's going to be some practical applications for this that don't involve VR. Once again, I'm just learning about it, but
Sure.
the way they're talking about it, it's making traditional input easier in some ways. So what it's replacing, I'm not sure, but if somebody knows what else they're trying to replace, whether it's input types.
I do have something to add to that, actually, because I've paid attention to this for the past, 2 weeks straight, just since we're talking about it. The one thing is, if you've ever played with a magnet and you're going at opposing forces, north and south, obviously you feel that, that little connection when they get near each other. Even though this project doesn't give you that, it's just a device that has that chip inside of it. When you bring your finger towards a watch or something and you see that LED screen light up and start responding with you moving up and down just because of the sound and just the frequency, because like you said, you don't have to make a noise with it. You can just bring your finger near it and it senses you. So things like that, as you were saying, how could it necessarily be used? One thing you could think about is, let's say a controller that's for virtual reality. If you've got a controller that has that built into it, you can sit there and take the controller, and in your virtual reality program, you can turn it into anything and make it look like anything. You can, let's say you have a little controller in your hand, and it's got some kind of a texture on it. Now as soon as you put your hand in virtual reality over just an invisible spot, you instantly, you see your hand actually interacts with that texture because of the movement. So your device could look like anything it wants to, but it can, in the program, you can design it to be, whatever you want. And because of the feedback properties, you can kind of just change it to an infinity amount of different devices. Just because of the way that its feedback is designed, as opposed to having buttons on a controller that you can only map out in a certain way. This thing you can sit there and move, as you were talking about earlier, with the leap motion, you can sit there and design gestures for it. Like if you write an S, or if you sit there and move your hand back and forth, it can literally sense if you're putting 2 fingers above it, or 3 fingers, or 4 fingers. It can sense how far away they are. So you can only imagine that you can do really unlimited things with a device that has that built into it. And so I'm just really excited about that technology, and anybody else that has any ideas about it, and it's cool to talk about it.
I have one crazy one last one. And I think this would also go great with augmented reality, where you would be able to project through AR what, like the capture volume of the radar thing.
Absolutely.
And so imagine going to a store or, your ATM or anything like that, and you have your AR glasses and they're projecting out the interface of, the ATM of the 21st century, where you don't have to press a button anymore. Stuff like that.
Right.
I think what Microsoft got really wrong about the original Windows 8 design was that everybody's going to move to touchscreens, and ever since, I first learned about that, Windows 8 and everything, how they thought everything's going to touchscreens, that's not going to happen with desktop computers. You're going to have some input device like this that doesn't make you, touch the left side of the screen, put it all the way on the right side of the screen with screens getting bigger and whatnot. You have some other input device that makes operating system like Microsoft was trying to do more, usable, more applicable to, it's like touch screen desktops are just, yesterday's news like that.
Terrible.
That never happened, and whoever thought that at Microsoft was dead wrong from the beginning.
So I have
Dead
something to
wrong
add
from the beginning.
that may require everyone to sign an NDA. Now, I work on a project called Sprout for HP. Have you guys heard of Sprout?
We're not recording this.
Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yep.
Nope.
Well, Sprout basically consists of a touch mat on the desktop and then a touch screen as a computer. And we tried to integrate, it has a projector above that projects down to the touch mat, right? So it's like 2 screens, and you just touch whatever. Now, we tried to integrate Leap Motion early on into the device, but since it uses video and infrared cameras, it was having problems with reflecting off of the touch mat. So there was a lot of noise, and it just didn't work. So my dream for Sprout is that you can just, think about your laptop as it's folded up. It's got the flat part and the vertical part. My dream is to be able to reach your hands into the middle of that and manipulate an object in 3 dimensions. So like think of a chunk of clay that's virtual clay that you can just sort of mash and squeeze and do stuff with to create 3D models.
It's talking about if you open up a laptop like that,
so
this
I'm
little
going to
space
get
in between,
labs
like you
on
could just
this
put your hand in there and you could just
Solis
play
thing
with
to
whatever's
see if we can
there.
integrate it into the sprout to see if it works.
Interesting.
Good stuff.
That'd be amazing. Like a little virtual ball of clay you can sit there and play with. That's cool.
And so you would have that ball of clay in your hand, or how would you feel the feedback from that? Would it be some sort of object?
So it's a virtual ball of clay. It's floating on the screen in front of you, but your gestures manipulate it. I mean, it's definitely going to be a difficult UI paradigm, but the idea is that your hands are not always touching a flat surface. They're actually in the air manipulating an object.
Right.
Yeah,
we want to play with all kinds of stuff like that.
It's like having a ball of Play-Doh in your hands. You play with it and you play with the Play-Doh, right? Now, if it's a digital ball of Play-Doh, it's sitting right in front of you, and of course it's not going to perform the same way, but you can sit there and mold it and play with it with your hands, as opposed to using your mouse with the brush, and you have to change the brush density, and you have to change the brush size. No, you've got your hands. To change the size, you change your fingers.
So basically, you have this tablet on your head, and it can scan the environment around you.
The Leap Motion came out
into your, into your
Gunter off
VR world, into your game world, whatever it should be,
Gunter off just
whatever it is. So that's pretty interesting on the path.
We're going to close Gunter off just for a second. Okay, so Leap Motion came out with a new update for their hands asset, and what you can do is you can actually reach out with your own hands, and it actually creates a graphic digital interface of your hand, so you actually have your hands, your size, virtually displayed into the world, which is a brand new thing. It's really, really cool, and I think that I really need to make a video showing that. So I'm going to write that down, and hopefully we'll see that soon. We'll get back to the actual information.
The project where I think, they're making sure that they got all their bases covered. WebVR, they got the Chrome VR thing going on. So, but Tango, the thing is, their team is really talented. They have this guy named Johnny Lee. I can't remember what company he comes out of, but I know he has really good pedigree, so to speak. And so I'm excited to see where they're going to form partnerships, because content is going to be king for this thing. And so we'll see. I don't know. I'm just in a we'll see sort of stage for them.
Sure.
Actually, today, I think it was either today or yesterday, but they partnered with Qualcomm. So you are pretty sure that's going to be in a lot of different cell phones.
For sure.
Whew.
What are the impacts of something like this being in a lot of
I'm going to restart my camera real quick. Restarting camera.
It might make Magic Leap, no, not Magic Leap, Leap Motion. It might prove the competition for Leap Motion.
Okay.
Well, I see it just adding more to their cardboard ecosystem. I mean, what they have with all the options they have with cardboard. I mean, they're just adding on to it.
Right. So now they're able to, see outward, bring that in to the VR experience. They have their cardboard that got upgraded to a new version, same basically concept with bigger screen, 6 inches, supported now up to 6 inches, and there's a little button that apparently you press that down and equivalent to tapping somewhere on the screen. So that's interesting as well. So take that with Tango, and they've got something interesting going on the VR front. I think it was the announcement was last week about Oculus bringing in that Surreal Vision was the company. Yeah, and so they're working on bringing basically, I think, mapping, augmented reality, bringing, you can see the future, whether we bring AR into the VR experience. So these things seem similar to you?
They do.
I thought when Google ended Google Glass that they were preparing to announce something like beyond what Microsoft announced. And now I don't think that's necessarily.
It's got to be so late for you, Gaming Evolve.
Because it may be Google Glass 2, but Google Glass really was the beginning of AR in a way, and it's a step away. I mean, from everyday people just walking around, like going into wherever they go with glasses on that augment their reality.
We're gonna try it out.
Sorry, I just got up. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I missed part of that conversation. Sorry.
No, the whole AR aspect is what's. It's not just VR anymore. We are talking more about AR. And yeah, Google Glass seems to me to be the first real AR product that you could get your hands on, even though I'm pretty sure it's still hard to get your hands on that. But and sure, what are they going to do with that in the future? But yeah, like they got Magically. There's all this AR talk now. And I guess they're calling it mixed reality.
We're going to try out the Kinect and see.
So are we going to stop using, virtual reality?
See if it works again.
I mean, that's definitely tied to pre-HMD technology.
Let's try it out. Arms straight out.
Second Life.
Yeah, I've always pictured the first Oculus killer or VR killer is a thing that'll black out. If you want to go into VR, it can do VR or AR. Or a mixture. All it does is really fog up the lenses so you're in VR as opposed to seeing what's beyond your lenses.
Seems like in the future there will be this wait, there was a time before both of them being one thing. There was actually just VR, there was just AR. What were you saying, Chris?
I agree 100% with what you guys are saying. I think that eventually the device that gives you AR and VR will be in the same object, and I think. Yeah, I like pushing the narrative, or I like the idea of the metaverse and how it's just the materialization of all of your life's information in 3D before your eyes. Whether that, before your eyes means, whether before your eyes, that means through AR or through a full immersive environment like in VR.
Happening for real.
It is happening for real.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. Totally.
Will they change the name of it to something besides VR or AR?
Well, Magically was trying to be different.
Think about a plane that goes in front of your eyes that you can adjust the degree of opacity on.
What's that, Shannon?
Think about a plane of clear plastic that falls in front of your eyes. In that mode, it would be an augmented reality device because you can overlay stuff on the reality in front of you. But if you need to switch to watching a video, you can just have a slider or some other kind of user interface.
They finally made it so I can use the Rift
and then you transmit the stuff directly on it, or directly into your retina. But you in effect control the opacity of the visual field.
Nice.
Or to add on to that, if they opened up a little window to the real world in the game or whatever you're doing.
Oh, that's so much easier to play with, actually.
More control over what part of the lens is open or closed.
Yeah, that's way easier to play with.
Well, I have a question about Tango. Tango, as I understand it, is just a camera that generates a point cloud that, in effect, produces a 3D mesh of the environment around you. Is it more than that?
I don't think it's more than that. I just think it's
how I understand it, but I don't know about more than that.
I can't see. My eyes get pushed down by the Rift sometimes, then I can't see.
Precise for the size that they're making it. I think that's the only unique part of what they're doing.
And is that substantially different than a Kinect?
Just more advanced, I would say.
And I guess you got
these are way more easier to use. Way more easier to use.
Probably process a lot of this stuff, I'd imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, you can offload the processing to the cloud. Yeah, I've tried it. I tried it at GDC, and I don't remember it doing much more than sort of mapping the environment around me. It seemed like they did overlay some kind of little AR something or other in the midst of it, but that may have just been demoware.
Now, Kenny and Chris, you both went to the Project Tango hackathon, I believe, right?
Indeed.
Yes. Can you guys talk about what you saw there, starting with Kenny?
Sure. Yeah, I was there and got a chance to try one of the hackathon, pretty much contestants, if you will. They called it, I think it was trailer trash. It was basically you're in a giant virtual trailer with the kitchen and the couch, and you have this pretty much tablet strapped to your head with a camera, and they're using the visual data from the outside, like inside the conference room to
I'm going to switch to the
map
big
it
person.
to the virtual space. So if you're walking around in real space, it's happening in virtual space as well. Only issue is, if you don't see the people in front of you, you can run into them easily. So they had somebody actually, follow us around.
Oh, shoot.
Sure.
So, but it was pretty neat, and it worked very well. If you moved your head back and forth really quickly, it took a sec to catch up. But if you're doing normal head movement, it worked okay.
The left bumper makes it so they can hear me.
Like,
and it just went and it
So
fell down.
I got there a little
and
bit
it made
later,
it so they could
unfortunately,
hear
and
me,
I did
and
not
it
get to
was
try and do the Project Tango demos,
the
but
third time I interrupted.
I did see the presentation of the finalists for the prize, and one of the demos caught my eye, where they had this RTS.
Truly.
Because the thing that we all know is that watching miniature worlds or dioramas in VR is really compelling, and it seems to be the case as well in AR. And the demo that I saw was an RTS playing before your eyes
I dropped
in
the
a
controller,
miniature
I'm
world,
sorry.
and the Project Tango would project a sort of a platform where you took your allied soldiers from one end of the map and then transported them to another end of the map where they would fight it out with their little enemies. Okay. And it was cool, and people were clapping. People were excited about that one. I think I think that the little miniature world effect in VR also translate well to AR. So for developers out there, that's a quick tip I kind of saw.
I'm gonna go get.
How do you feel about the refresh rate on it?
So I just saw a video of like on a projector screen. They were showing and it looked fine.
And we'll be back. Going to the main menu. I'm gonna change my little character. If I can actually connect to the server. Apparently I can't connect to the server right now. Okay, I'm having trouble connecting to the server. We're gonna exit the thing, restart the thing. Alright. Got a bunch of people in the event tonight. K-Dog, Cause and Effects, Gunter Cam, Gunter. We got VR Gaming Evolved, Ant, Reverend Kyle, Mike Arms, Bob B. Bobson, VR Bro. Let's see. Main menu. And custom Google Drive. Custom this one. We'll save. Go to this one, join room. Another one. Okay.
Yeah, cool, that's so freaking awesome.
VR Bro, Mr. Q, Rubik, Henry, Haczar, Reality Check VR, Kirito, Tom23VR, Patsy Coconut, Zombie Stan Lee, Darth Space Cakes, Adam J, Ping Pong, Shannon, D-Lock, Dustin, and Madman.
VR, Google's huge, bringing VR to many people. That seems to be a great thing. It's hard to, I think, to weigh it all. For me, it's a lot more VR. That's kind of cool. But I haven't experienced cardboard, and I imagine that it's not going to be the greatest experience. But I do like to see them combining this expedition thing together for teachers. I bet that seems like it's going to blow a lot of kids' minds.
It's less like, hey, stop looking at what you're doing. So what's interesting is
I agree, especially in today's age.
So actually, I'm going to stop class.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like
So I think it's working still. I think it's working.
All these companies care so much about making the
We'll try the Hydra one more time. Fine.
You're in essence creating something from nothing. It's as if you had
built
a camera.
So they also
I don't look like a dork with this headset. Not at all. Shut up.
A 16 camera kit that will map 360 and apparently choosing interesting light fields and some interesting processing done on the back end via their super duper algorithms. It looks pretty good, and I'm definitely excited to have their YouTube Jump. They're calling it Jump, which is a place that you can now upload your 360 videos to YouTube. So they obviously want to be the leader and have that sort of content on their platform as well.
It's just a matter of spinning up more and more.
Whoa, sorry.
So what are your final takeaway, guys, starting with you, Haczar, about Google I/O?
I think Google is coming out with a lot of great things for the future. And even the things that they're coming out with now, I mean, Google Photo having unlimited storage and videos for everyone. I mean, it just goes to show that, and you saw like the AI type of stuff that they were showing with context. It just goes to show that all the information that they're, I guess, accumulating with Google is just helping them. It's just helping them come out with better products in general.
Right. Solving lots of problems. How about you, Mike? What's your last thoughts on all this?
Google knows what they do well, and they also know where in the market they're not doing well right now. And I think what we see here is them attacking on all fronts, and they already know the ones that they're going to win. So if they get a chance to get ahead on this input thing, and even if cardboard turns into the next like Rift, really quickly, which I don't think that's going to happen, but I think they're going more for the AR thing. But it's really exciting seeing what Google's up to. It's going to make our VR experience better. So
yeah, it's crazy to see all this happening in just under this year. This
my main one. Okay, I know, I was like silent the whole time, weird. Okay, doesn't know no matter what body I'm with. Okay. Doesn't matter. Most of the characters are flipping out. Alright. That's all I needed to know.
0 to, basically.
I'm just glad that Haczar gets to look at that end of the cat now.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I've been looking at that end all night.
Controlling it.
Now I can see its evil dead eye.
Yeah, I was watching that for a while. Not good.
Whoa. Let's sit down next to these guys over here.
Yeah. I don't know what the cat's name is. Definitely glad it's he or she is here. Can somebody lift that thing up?
Stuffed cat.
Check its sex. Let's sex it. No.
Ray Catswile.
Nice. Okay, so let's move on to storytelling.
VR Gaming Evolved had to
VR.
Had to go to sleep.
Sort
Good
of
night, buddy.
Topic that sparked from
Good night, buddy. Spokojnej nocy.
Stories that have come out about Henry, a story film, CGI sort of film experience in VR from coming out of the Oculus
50
story
minutes
studio.
so far. 50 minutes.
Very
so far.
interesting.
Wow.
Let's see if I can pull this up. What do you guys think about this? Have you guys had a chance to take a look?
Wait, which one? Penrose or the Henry one?
Well, let's talk about Henry, and then Penrose is another one made by that studio as well, which couldn't find a video of that.
Well, Henry, I think it's a great start for like their first attempt at, well, other than Lost, but I guess their first debut of, I guess, what would you call that? A Pixar VR story?
Yeah, Pixar-like.
The only thing that was kind of contra what they were saying is that the story was, I guess it was for all ages, but mainly for kids. But then, like a couple of weeks ago, they were saying, you don't recommend the Rift for a certain age group, which was like below, I believe it was like 13 or something. So,
yeah, right.
I mean, they're always setting shows in between departments over there, and I guess it's just
maybe they
like
have the
IPD
thing sorted out more, which is apparently the issue with kids having narrow IPD.
I wanted to hug Henry. All you want is to hug him.
Here's Henry or maybe Sonic.
Kids, these characters in the films we watch, they're alive. And with VR, it makes me feel again like I'm a kid because I can see this character is real. So much in virtual reality has been focused on science fiction, has been focused on the future and all that, and we wanted to step back to make something that would delight audiences, that would make kids laugh, and that would be something that showed how virtual reality can be a really fun mainstream art form.
Yeah, it seemed like Pixar sort of type movies are going to work well in VR. We don't quite have the cameras that can film real life to give us that experience yet. So yeah, I really like this. What about you, Chris? Have you taken a look at the preview for Henry yet?
Yeah, I got hyped by the Henry video. The questions that brings to mind are, one, what are the costs of production for something like this? How much are you spending, Oculus? And is that going to be, a sort of barometer or benchmark for what everybody else has to spend to create that sort of experience? And the other thing that I'm thinking about is like, well, okay, that's I see that, and I think that every user interface design, implementation that Oculus puts in there, I think that since it's very early in VR, I feel like we should still be experimenting and not stick to what Oculus might put out there. Unless it's fucking successful, then if it's super successful, then by all means. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm hyped for it. I want to experience it. That was a horrible way of saying it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be in some sort of narrative, especially Pixar-like polished experience story in VR for sure. The only thing I can really think of now is like VR Butts was like a story that was still cool in VR.
And how much are they going to charge for this? Like, how much are people going to pay?
This would be amazing.
Is it going to come bundled with the Rift, maybe?
I don't know how long I was muted for, but I was muted for a few minutes.
Well,
Sorry.
I can't imagine people paying too much. It depends on how long it is, I'd imagine. And yeah, I think it's going to be content available, right, for the consumer Rift, or maybe even the next year. I don't know. What about you, Shannon? What do you think of in terms of VR storytelling or Henry here?
Yeah, so Henry's certainly interesting, but I mean, the fundamentals of VR storytelling are game-changing. I mean, I've met with the Jaunt VR guys and Next VR guys, people that film in 360, people that develop stories in Unity or Unreal that are in virtual worlds, and it's kind of a very different paradigm to develop content like that, in that you don't really have storyboard, right? You don't go from frame to frame, from scene to scene. You have to let the thing fly free. So now Jaunt and Next VR have Jaunt more, I guess you'd say, are kind of working on these sort of orthogonal movies where You have
I learned the word orthogonal
where there are
recently.
many things going on at once around
It's
you,
pretty sweet.
and you can follow any sort of line of thought, line of interaction that you choose. And you could end up watching the same movie or the same scene, multiple times to experience all of the aspects of it. So I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, I have a gear, and I've tried some experiences, some 360 experiences there where there's still much lacking, but I really enjoy a few of those. They really do give me a lot of hope for what we're going to have soon. The whole Milk VR content that's out there is really interesting and really still pleasurable, and when I share it with friends and family, their mind is blown. They feel like they're stepping into the future.
Yeah. So on that note, one of the cool guys that's going to come to VR Camp is the guys behind the Fifth Sleep. Like, you guys have seen that on the gear.
Well, yeah.
Right. So talk about storytelling, where you're I call it on a train track, where you have a start and a finish, but as you travel through this journey, you can look around and see whatever you want. So that's
awesome.
going to be up on the big 20-foot by 30 or 30-foot by 20-foot screen, for instance, for people that are can vicariously look at it without it being in the head-mounted display.
I know what you're saying, man.
Hopefully that'll
so cool.
go over well. I don't know yet.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Hey, can I add something to this topic real quick? Speaking about like this Pixar-related type content, I don't know about you guys, but I just have to say one thing. When I started with this idea of virtual reality, it was about 10, 12 years ago when I was kind of younger, when we saw Toy Story come out. I remember watching Toy Story, and I remember thinking to myself, how interesting would it be if I could sit there and watch Toy Story from the bed? Because even as a younger kid, I kind of realized it was a computer rendered movie I was watching, and I thought, well, doesn't that mean they can move the camera wherever they want? And I remember thinking, if I could just sit wherever I wanted to, that would be so cool. And here it was as soon as I heard about the Oculus Rift DK2, the thing that I, as I was telling you before in previous episodes, I wanted to buy this DK2 because I wanted to develop with it. But the first idea I ever had about virtual reality was actually watching Toy Story, and I wanted to sit on the bed when they were at a different camera angle, and I wanted to see from a different perspective, and that whole idea I've been trying to explain to people for years, and it's kind of hard to do so. And then as soon as this DK2 came out, it's so easy to say, hey, look, you can walk around and you can see the birthday cake from here or here or here, and you can see it from whatever aspect you want. As you said, you can watch this movie over and over again and see it from different angles, and you might not even know what's going on in the next room until the 15th time you watch it, and you walk in the next room and realize there's a whole nother episode going on in there that you haven't seen yet. So I just, at this subject, I just have to go on that because it's really true to my heart, talking about actually Pixar related kind of content, because that's what got me going with this. And it's so cool. I'm not sure what you guys have also thought about that stuff, because I know we have all had ideas about VR before it actually was at this stage, but that one's mine. So good topic.
And you can layer in more and more storylines.
So good.
Yeah, basically, I want the ability when I'm taking in stories to have more options to go see sideline stories or be closer to certain characters, or just in real life, if I can go look around all kinds of things like fly on the wall, I want to have that option, sure, and you can replay it from another perspective. There's a lot of power there. I think also about not so much the rendered sort of story that's drawn in one of these 3D programs, but taking it to sort of what we're doing here, and we're sort of not acting, but we're meeting up here and we're putting on a show. I could see movie show content being live action and film virtually on like a theater, maybe a RiftMax theater, where people are acting. The actual characters are being acted out by.
I'm going to be a VR
people.
actor. You get ready.
It's more of a play. Or
I'll put on my
like
headset,
that.
put the DK2 in front of me. You'll never see my face, but you'll see an actual figure walking around doing the things that I'm wanting to do and be, because I'm too shy to do it in front of people. But in my room,
it's kind of like mind-blowing because you're in like a Pixar movie, and you have the motion, you're in the engine, and they said, well, I don't know if this, but anyways, like.
Whoa.
So basically, they'll use triggers, right, instead of.
I have to go pick up my wife soon.
Based on like what time it is in the movie, so
really soon, like in
direction,
5 minutes.
It'll trigger what's going to happen at that time of the movie, and there's all the rules are thrown out of movie making, And yeah, it's pre-rendered, but you are in the engine, and without having the ability to stand up and walk around, you're still in like a fixed perspective, right? But you can see, like they're telling a story, but they're not going to tell it until you look in a certain direction. I guess that's
yeah, I
part
think
of it. That's what it felt like. So, yeah.
Colossus, one of the jam entries, that's part of the finalists. I guess we'll find out who the final winners are in 2 days or so, on the 4th. Colossus is a story-driven experience. Has a unique art style. I actually do have a video here. That apparently, it's not apparent when you're trying it, which I've tried the experience, but depending on where you're looking, the giant that appears will show up on different sides of you depending on which way you're looking. And apparently there's other cues in there. That's kind of what they're trying to push, is storytelling and how it reacts, the environment or the story will react to how you're perceiving it. So, Mike, have you had any time to see Colossus either in video form or on your gear?
Is that what we're looking at right now?
Or Colossus, actually Colossus. Yeah.
Is this the one with
it's going to be washed out. Anything bright is real washed out.
I think we watched this video before. This one looks cool.
Probably
oh, the big thing starts walking towards you. Yes.
I don't know if I've seen this.
This is awesome. For the big thing.
Yeah.
I love this.
It's really interesting art direction.
Yeah, and if you get the chance,
on RevStream, I think
if you put the DK2 on,
mentioned it as like a kid's pop-up book. What was that?
I was just saying, if you get the chance, put the DK2 on and watch the demo on YouTube. It's really, really cool.
You can get it on the DK2. There's a DK2 release of this now, so you can just try the whole thing. Yeah, a lot of those demos are now being converted. Oculus had a little some instruction on how to convert that easily, apparently.
Must get it. All right.
We have visual storytelling here. Again, I'm not sure of the different cues. Maybe you can sit there and look at the Colossus as long as you want, and then once you look over to the left, I think it'll show our main character, I guess, running away. So I think you're able to take in as much as you want, and then once you look back at a certain area, the scene will progress. Or just progress naturally there. When I did it, it seemed to go much quicker. I didn't stare at the clock, I was staring at this character.
You know,
I'm spelling it wrong. Clearly I'm spelling it wrong, so I don't know the proper name.
Yeah, this video doesn't do it justice. I mean, you're seeing a split screen on a screen inside of virtual reality that it's kind of washed out, but you know, definitely look it up, play it if you can, and of course take a look at it on video form on YouTube. You know, Nick Pittum and a bunch of other people worked on this project, including our own Piece of Fruit, who's one of our friends here in VRChat. So yeah, so that's really cool. I got a video here of, I didn't really get time to watch it. It's related to storytelling, but it's Janus, another social VR platform. Unfortunately, this one looks washed out too. Terrible. Anyways, they're trying to, they have some sort of storybook situation in their platform.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love this. See, they all think it's kind of nerdy. I think it's really, really cool. I mean, if you can just walk around and have a little storybook and just experience this kind of stuff, it's fun. I mean, it's not, hey, get into a thing and sweat and kill a bunch of people. It's, hey, just sit and listen to somebody strum on an old a good acoustic guitar and,
they basically walk
enjoy
these
yourself
to
in
get to the next sort of
children's
scenes, I guess.
storybook.
I dig it.
Yeah. I always want to hang out more on all these other social platforms, but it was great to see this in the news and tie into the whole story.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Good stuff. Stories in VR.
My frame rate's dropping all around. I'm sorry for the computer.
We're going to be seeing a lot of that, hopefully soon. I did try the DreamWorks. Their little thing about DreamWorks entering into the game a little bit and putting something out on the gear, and unfortunately it's not any good. It's rubbish because it's just basically a theater screen like we're seeing here in VR, showing their content, their movie coming up with a themed space that goes with their movie. So nothing innovative there.
So he's talking about like watching the Avengers, and in the same room that you're watching the Avengers in, like this room, you would have a bunch of different Avengers-like things, details, graphics on the walls, colors,
quick moment here
statues,
to remind
sculptures.
you that you're watching Gunters Universe. This is
Cool
episode
stuff.
9.
Episode 9.
So every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, reach out to me. You can find all my contact information on guntersuniverse.com.
Nice.
So let's dive in deep to Burning Man. I'm really excited about this. It's something I've always wanted to go to Burning Man. I love a lot of what Burning Man's about. I enjoy thinking about psychedelics, their impact on our consciousness, and how they're an interesting tool for us to use to kind of dive into our own minds, and is sort of synonymous with virtual reality, and what we're able to use that as a tool to do something similar. And out there in Burning Man, there's a lot of free thought, and I think there's a couple people dabbling in psychedelic and other work like that. So we'll start with Shannon. What's exciting you? What made you want to do a VR camp at Burning Man? Is this your first time at Burning Man?
VR camp at Burning Man.
Background.
Yeah, so I've been to Burning Man a number of times. I guess 4 years
please,
now.
please! I want to
And
see
each
videos
year
from
I've been
VR
involved
Burning
with
Man.
relatively large
This would be
projects.
amazing.
I've done
just amazing.
One called the Trojan Horse, which I'm pretty much most
Just
proud of.
amazing.
And another one called the Alien Siege Machine, these are both interactive sculptures about 50 to 60 feet tall. People can climb on, monkey around with during the week, and then towards the end of it, we burn the things down.
Wow. The Trojan? Is there a video?
Yeah, the Trojan Horse. Look it up on YouTube. It's got some great videos of it. Same for the Alien Siege Machine. But, being part of SVVR since, the very, very beginning, I was constantly seeing these amazing demos, and I was just like, try this thing. And when I took the HMD off, I was like, dude, I have to bring this to Burning Man. People will love it there. I mean, I know this will happen. So hence came the idea. And I've been talking about VR Camp for probably a year and a half now, something like that. Cris, I don't know, you were there in the very beginning of it.
It's been a long time, guys. I can confirm.
Yeah, it's just a mixture that, I think I've heard about, these stories of like the technology elite, I guess your Zuckerbergs or your, heads of Google or whomever is out there in that San Francisco, Silicon Valley scene, that they're the elite, apparently travel to Burning Man every year and have quite the camp that they put up, and I figured, well, virtual reality is now entering the scene. I can only imagine what they're going to be doing out there, and have heard some things here and there. So I'm really excited and hope that all of that comes to fruition. And one way or another, there's definitely going to be a VR presence there. And I hope I can be there. I don't know. So let's see. Did I find a video of the Trojan Horse?
Show us
so Cris,
the video.
You're heading out there, the Burning Man.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a podcast from Burning Man. I don't know if we can do it live.
Probably not, man.
Because of the conditions of the desert.
Yeah, a lot of people want to use their cell phones.
But we'll see. I just might do it. I might do it live with Shannon and a whole bunch of other VR folk if they're around, and Should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited
He's
for
like,
Burning
whatever.
Man. Just like you,
Hotspot, 100
you were
megabytes.
mentioning, you know, the tech elite go there, and you know, I can't
cat's
wait to
finally
run
sitting
into
down
Sergey
watching
Brin
Gunter.
or you know, maybe Elon Musk.
I'm not sure who's
Does he go,
controlling the
Shannon? Do
cat.
you know if Elon Musk goes to Burning Man?
He does.
Man, I can't wait.
Yes.
Now the thing with these guys is that they tend to sort of camp off on their own, and they like to be sort of anonymous. So you know, it may not be the greatest thing to just follow them around all the time. Although I would be right there with you.
Yeah,
Hey.
Just want to demo to them.
Hey, are you famous?
For instance, one of the
Hey.
things we're going to be doing, and I'll get
Hey.
into a little more
Do people
aspects
know
of
who
the
you
camp.
are?
So I mentioned
Hey.
we have a 30-foot by 20-foot
Talk to
screen
me.
that's
People
going
will
to
know
go
who
up.
I am if I talk to
And
you.
we're going to be doing a mashup that contains high fidelity, which is, you know, backed by Philip Rosedale. You guys
Diloc, I
probably
can't see
know
you.
him. And
Ping pong has no head.
the motion capture suits
Madman?
by
Was you a
Perception
madman?
Neuron. Oh yeah, check this video.
Oh gosh.
This is during the pull. We have 200 plus slaves pulling the Trojan horse.
Pump up the volume without hitting the music.
And here it comes. It's about 56 foot high.
Move over here.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Truly is a Trojan horse.
That thing's like bigger than the real Trojan horse.
Right?
Yeah, it's actually bigger than the real Trojan horse.
Yeah, I know.
It's quite the project there.
I'm right behind it in the band right there, like the little guy standing to the back.
I see you.
Is there people inside of it, or is it just burnt?
No, not during the pull, but later on that night we had archers with flaming arrows, and we loaded it with about $7,000 worth of pyrotechnics and ignited it by way of the flaming arrows, and the thing just blew up, basically.
These are things in real life that like will never be matched in VR.
True.
I agree. As much of a VR crazy that I am, that's insane.
I think this might be it.
Yeah, you see the flaming arrows coming out. So coming to VR Camp, we're going to have definitely next VR. We're going to have Little Star come out. I'm working on a deal with a drone, like an industrial drone, that will pull up a rig with 360, you know, the 6 GoPro things to film a lot of 360 video.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine having this available to watch in 360, which I think would be awesome.
Yeah.
Bubby, hush.
Yeah, that's...
Bubby, hush.
Yeah, too bad we can't just blast out the seats and set here and just be in that. Be able to look everywhere. Even with all of us just sitting here together, that would be...
Maybe Burning Man 2016 will be able to live stream in 360.
Yeah, man.
This was in the last, in the 360 video that's available on Gear, right? It's just kind of far away.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's like, it's in Milk. It's like a 2014 Burning Man.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, some of them I haven't downloaded because it's going to be on the Wi-Fi connection. And I just have the double connection.
Yeah, understood.
So yeah, that's obviously radder than rad. Congratulations on that project. And,
I'm pretty proud of the Trojan horse.
It's amazing.
So who builds the Trojan horse?
It took a group of us, about 25 people, give or take, about 8 months to build it.
Wow.
It's kind of bittersweet when it burns out.
A lot of these projects are built up at a place in Oakland called NIMBY. It stands for Not in My Backyard. So I'll talk about VR Camp a little bit. Now.
Sure.
So the plan is to have these 2 expo booths, 40 feet long each, about 20 feet across, and inside about 10 demo stations in each.
I'm going to pull up your video. There we go. Sorry about that.
Hi, my name is Shannon.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, just mute that thing, man.
I know, I can't stand hearing myself either.
I also love Burning Man, having worked on many interesting and important projects in the past, including the Trojan Horse and the Alien Siege Machine.
There was a documentary made about the Trojan Horse, by the way.
It deserves one.
This year I want
Yeah,
to bring
exactly,
the first ever VR camp to Burning Man.
Okay, so let me turn this down and then you can just speak about it.
Yeah, I am not responsible for this video.
Oh, it's what I found last minute, I guess.
Somebody's gonna write an article about you, my friend.
So bad.
VR Camp.
There's Will. There's the dude with the seat.
I know 75 of the people in that video. 75% of the people there.
There's Isaac. That's going to be there definitely. You see the melting face thing?
She promised there'd be a whole row of RiftMax computers, but I was like, come on, we're not gonna...
Dude, we've talked about having RiftMax there, so it's up to you.
Yeah, we'll see if I get tickets, and then if I do, let's do it. If not, you could still do it if you want.
Yeah, FYI, there's this whole thing called Burn 2, which is, you know, Burning Man completely replicated in Second Life, and they do it every year. So that's the Kraken.
Really gotta kill my music. You gotta kill my music. Whatever, dude.
This video severely needs editing. I just have not had time to do it or to attack it.
Seeking of these moments when we know the whole experiment is geared to keep us open to the hopeful possibility that meaning is...
So I have a, I think there's a huge value on bringing, I mean, obviously I think everybody knows that there's going to be a huge value of bringing Burning Man, or VR to Burning Man, but I think that the types of crowds, seeing this from a more, I don't know, I guess capitalistic perspective, which I know that's not the ethos of Burning Man, I can't help but see that there is huge benefit in showing this to like really powerful and rich people, that even though VR is in the mainstream consciousness, it's not the same as having them try it on, and this would be the perfect place to show it to them. And I think that's just going to keep accelerating the growth of what we're all so passionate about here.
Some old school tech with some new school tech.
Definitely.
And bring VR.
Yeah, so the idea is to put like paper mache masks on the front of the Oculus Rift.
This camp consists of a 30-foot by 20-foot screen with powerful projectors and two 40-foot by 20-foot expo tents.
Yeah, there we go. There's the layout of the camp.
Hey Shannon, can I not burn my DK2 at the end of the Burning Man as tradition says?
I can't do this alone.
You can.
It takes a lot of money and time to put something.
Maybe you can make a wooden one.
I'm estimating
what kind of fundraising was this for?
For the box trusses.
This is an Indiegogo that's trying to raise about $10,000, which is what will be required to build the box truss system and whatnot for the big screen. And yeah, if you go to B-Man VR, there's a link to it there. It's still running for like another 2 weeks.
So that's bmanvr.com.
Yeah, bmanvr.com.
Cool.
So far for VR Camp, we have a few sort of I don't want to say corporate sponsors, but people that are kicking in equipment. So we have NVIDIA, we have Leap Motion, we have Google Cardboard, Perception Neuron, 6 Sense, and Samsung. And we conspicuously do not have, so far, Vive/Valve, Morpheus, or Oculus.
There's me. I
think it's just a matter of time.
That's wearing the same shirt. I'm wearing the same shirt, and there's me. Okay,
yeah, but like I say, we're working on bringing a drone with live 360 video that's coming down.
There's me right there. There's me.
So that's
See,
kind
serious.
of a specialized industrial strength.
There's me.
drone
Check it out.
Carry up, 6 GoPros that streams down using Wi-Fi to a computer below. But I think that'll be interesting that you can sit down and have a Rift on. And
I just texted my wife and told her that they're showing my video, so hopefully she doesn't get
fly around.
You know,
I think that'll be pretty
too upset that I'm leaving her at work for too long.
And
so.
the other thing is,
control it.
Sorry, babe. Sorry.
Yeah, I think somebody else has to drive it for you. I don't know. Maybe not. And the other thing is I'm working with Mixamo and High Fidelity and Perception Neuron to do, like I say, a mashup deal with a full motion capture suit that's mapped to a Mixamo character that's put up on the big screen in High Fidelity. So Rosedale is going to be...
You're controlling it with that?
Yeah, the neuron maps the avatar, full motion capture suit to the avatar, and that you can just dance around. So the idea is that these two characters, I'm thinking Godzilla and some kind of a mechanoid transformer kind of guy, there'll be 2 of them up on the screen dancing, large scale, with a big sound system down below and, a crowd of people all sort of dancing with the giant monsters. So that's one thing. And then another thing is going to be like the Fifth Sleep up on the big screen, because I want people to actually vicariously see these things without having the H&B. I mean, the H&B is cool, but I want them to fly through these stories. And another thing is called Kineviz. I don't know if you guys have seen that before, but it's kind of a VR deal that has a Kinect that lets you sort of fly through these just visually intense scenarios, just using your arms. So anybody can walk up and just sort of drive, and those will be up on the big screen as well.
That's quite the event. Awesome. We'll get to sort of get an idea more of the drone cam and all that.
Here we have VR chat,
so we got like 3
talking about
of the Indigo,
different games, SVVR,
campaign.
RiftMax Theater,
so yeah,
Burning Man, and other amazing
Support
DK2
that.
experiences.
Yeah, we got to get you.
Right now we're going to talk about
everybody
Faceted
in
Flight,
the
which
team
I'm
to
excited about
spread the
because
word.
I just made the video for it.
That's always what a lot of these comes down to.
See?
We market on our subreddit, but
See?
I'm sure there's plenty of people that would love to support.
My computer is having some issues right now.
I wonder how many other people are going to Burning
come
Man
on, computer.
from our community. Have you
man.
sort of figured out, or have you asked the community who's going?
I think it's okay now.
Do we
We'll
need to do that?
Yeah, we kind of do. I mean,
the companies do you have signed up?
Yeah, I mean, there's about 20 people so far camping with, VR camp. Actually, about 24 people. And there are people adding like Rosedale will be there, but he's going to be camping somewhere else.
Right.
And, yeah, he'll come around with his crew.
Oops.
But I had a long chat this morning with Cosmo. You guys know Cosmo, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And he's gonna help me market the thing or send out an email blast to the people of VRLA to see who's interested in contributing and coming. And the way I look at it is, who's ever into VR, they can camp with us. Let's just have a VR camp. I mean, literally.
Yeah. Maybe Road to VR. I would get in touch with them and see if they want to put out an article about this and sort of saying who's all going. That'd be sweet. Getting it.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with upload.
Helpful. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if Matt Turndrup at Industry Changer on Twitter is going to be going after that. Definitely seems right up his alley. He's been on the show. And
any ideas that you guys have at all to spread the word and to get this Indiegogo thing, please email me or text me or whatever. It's Shannon at BManVR, by the way.
My friend's there too. So.
Aww.
Oh.
Aww.
I got to come from all the way on the other side of the country, but that's okay. That's why they have planes.
You like
I can't
road
grab
trips,
my
though,
rig.
right?
I can't drive my rig. There's too much involved and too much money, and it's still taking time to make that all that possible. Not just jump in it and go. Unfortunately, still have to work. Yeah, man, that's right. Yeah, I live in an RV now and do the show from there, and it obviously would be perfect for me to drive my RV there, ideally, but I have to drive it from Florida basically, and well, that's a lot of money. Save that.
That's a long drive, man. I've done it before.
Yeah. So great. I can't wait to see more about that and to go and then come back and tell everybody about how awesome it was. So I missed SVVR, but I'll take my funds and put them towards Burning Man. So what else going on? Mike, let's talk about RiftMax. Let's talk about events in VR. We talked about the Road to VR events calendar. That's up. It's just right on the main page there. Road to VR. It says events. You can tune into all the social VR, get information on all the social VR events, plus the real life events, meetups, stuff like that. So Mike, we've been doing events in here. I started hanging out with you over in RiftMax Theater, did a show over there called Virtually Incorrect, did events over there called Karaoke Night.
Gunters Virtually Incorrect, nice.
Live. So tell us a little bit about...
I saw a few of those on YouTube. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Probably wake them up
take
back
us through
there.
the
First of a kind. The first of their kind.
Where'd he go?
There's nobody else doing what he's doing.
He fell asleep. He's
He's back there. I think he was like renderer fell asleep.
So tell us about what you're working on. We're all very interested to see what's been going on. We haven't really been in RiftMax in like 6 months. So what's something you can tease? Tell us about.
I can tease something I've really wanted to do in VR is ride my favorite like Disneyland rides and stuff like that. I mean, I know it's not theater related, but we're gonna eventually stop calling RiftMax Theater a theater because that's its central focus. But when we started the lobby and all that, it was kind of a way to break it out from just being theater, because theater is awesome and it's still very much like the center of everything. But when your theater, kind of like here in VRChat, is your environment, and I've been working on a tool to make it really easy to make your own environment, and if you want to make your own like sequence of effects, or just even your own little like sport or game, like that's the idea of what we're going to be playing soon, hopefully. I mean, I say hopefully because, I mean, I've been so quiet about it for so long that, and just working on it, that, like, I never feel like it's ready, but, and it's not. And this summer, we're going to call it open beta, because everybody, community, we're all going to be, hopefully enjoying it and everything. But I'm hoping to make the first open beta, which really means us testing early versions of this later this month, and then, hopefully it evolves quickly from there with like some user content, and you can really like right now make your own like ride, like that kind of ride, or I mean that's one of the fun things you can do, or just your own like place, or whatever you're doing, even your own stage to do like a play, or not really make your own theater, because those are kind of set. There's like 5 or 6 theaters, but there's a lot of really good assets to play around with, and it's all in the game, so you don't have to own anything.
To diversify what you're doing more than just you start as a theater watching movies, but it actually became a lot more than that with these live events that were pretty popular, and you guys had that great unique camera system over there that really supported and enhanced more than just
and you can use the editor
theater.
Yeah, you can place your own cameras, and you can you can move them any way you want, and you can make your own TV show. I mean, hopefully, like by July, we'll have a game show in there, and we can. I mean, there's different camera angles, and you switch between them, and all this stuff is made in the editor, really easily. Hopefully, I'm still working on making it as easy as possible, but in one sitting you can make something in the editor, and then in the same sitting just share it with everybody, it's really just becomes text at that point. I mean, I'm sharing that with you guys because, I mean, there's no secrets here. We're the VR community, and like this is what I've been working on, and I just hope everybody enjoys it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been talking, you know, we've heard a little bit here and there. You've popped into the VR casters lobby, and we've talked, I'd say, kind of catch up a little bit, you know, a few months ago during that. And so, you know, a lot of us share the same friends that we've met in these social applications, and, you know, they've talked about, I'm like, oh, yeah, where's Mike? And other people are like, yeah, what's Mike up to? What's going on with RiftMax? It's been a while. And so we're all been just wondering, so I wanted to definitely bring you on, and just, you know, it's nice to hear that, first of all, it's still being, you know, you're working on it, and that this sort of fresh direction that you're taking it, and all of us, I mean, it's good timing with the social VR calendar on Road to VR, and that you just see there's a lot more people hanging out, a lot more different type of folk, a lot of people that I'm meeting, and like when I was in Alt Space the other day, that some of them it's their first time in social VR, their mind blown, they love it, and really they don't even know that there's so many events that they can go to, and that there's these really pockets of really interesting communities out there. So
that VR events calendar, I mean, we should all try to make that the central resource, because when I heard about that, when Deep Rifter was tweeting about it, and like he's worked really hard on that, and it's just really good to have that central resource. I think everybody's been waiting for that, you know, and I'm going to use that. I mean, I'm not a web developer really, so, you know, I'll put stuff on the website, but I mean, you'll get the latest version, but really look at that VR events calendar if you want to know what events are going to be in RiftMax, you know, as those come up this summer, and as we get closer to all these consumer releases, you know, it's going to be a really exciting time.
Yeah, it is. A lot going on in the social VR space. Of course, a lot of stuff going on here in VRChat. This show, we have our Sunday meetups that are really cool. We go and explore a lot of the content that community members here create. And Haczar, you've been hanging out here for a while. You started learning Blender and Unity, I believe, because of your involvement here in VRChat, and now you've been bringing in some of these avatars that you've picked up and kind of rigged them, got the jawbone working. Tell us what you know, your little history here with VRChat.
Well, I think I started using this program about 2 months ago, and I mean, the community is so welcoming, and they'll just provide you with any information. I mean, I knew nothing about Blender or Unity. I've been using it for what, 2-3 weeks max, and and yeah, it was just as a beginner.
Cool, man. Cool.
There's just so much possibilities that VRChat gives you to create. Any questions you have, I mean, you just ask other content creators, and they're welcome to provide you with any information. I mean, Blender is more for, you know, making your own unique content. Unity is to build your own, I would say, build like a room like this. I mean, with Unity 5, it's been actually awesome, because now not just anyone that has a pro account can, like, you know, make things. Now a person with the free program can make something very awesome, and the jump from 4 to 5 is huge. And the best part is, I mean, nowadays you have YouTube tutorials and places all over the internet to learn things, and actually Unity has a great manual as well. So there is anything you can think of and want to create, it's all possible.
Yeah, and creating VRChat then makes it even real easy. I mean, to try to make your own networked world would be really hard. And being able to utilize Unity, which is already pretty, you know, easy to use assets from the store, or put together something, you know, like not really Lego blocks, but really just building blocks that you can just put things together, export it out, and boom, here you can share it with everybody, get feedback as content creators, and encourage, you know, everybody to join this community. It is very, very welcoming, and one of my goals here is to help connect people. You know, I like to bring on devs, I like to have enthusiasts around, their personality to really share and like learn from each other. A lot of times I think people just don't reach out and ask for help or get involved in certain things, so I hope to help keep mentioning that, you know, it's a good idea to do it if you're thinking about Unity or any of that stuff. You can definitely learn a lot from these people. Do we have a little bit of time to do a little avatar show off? You have a few avatars that you brought in. Are you able to flip over to some of those?
Oh, sure, no problem. Let me get up for a second.
So in VRChat, it's really cool that that we all can have custom avatars. Back in the day when we first started, it was all sort of a Carl avatar, one from the Unity asset store, stuck in a T pose. The arms weren't even down by our sides.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Yeah, the hipster Jesus is sort of a name that we, in sort of the cross pose and little hipster guy. But yeah, now we have, like, you can just look around the set here. Kenny, if you can kind of pan around and kind of show the camera off to, like, all kinds of people in the audience and different, avatars that we have hanging out around. It's pretty fantastic. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, the first time I tried this out, it took me I think it was like 2 days to figure everything out. And yeah, after the first time, it took 10 minutes to get this from online, getting a resource and then bringing it into here. I mean, that's including the jaw moving around.
Yeah. So there's tons of resources out there. You don't have to build everything in Blender and model it all yourself, but you can find things and bring them in here easily, or use that as a base. I mean, there's like some base model that you could then start building on in Blender or whatever modeling program of your choice. But everybody wants to be a unique avatar, so a lot of people here have been bringing them in and sharing them with everybody. And Kirito, who's up in the stands, is a huge builder here, and he's got a room called the Hangout, in which you can just go and click on an avatar and you'll become it. So it's sort of like a dressing room or something.
Hey, by the way, guys, if you have a Mixamo account, I would suggest downloading every single avatar you can before they shut it down.
Yeah, I know a lot of people use that, but you think it could be shutting down or something, or?
Well, it's not shutting down. They're being acquired by Adobe. So at the moment they have this thing where they will give you, what is it, 20 free. Yep, 20 free auto rigs, meaning that any avatar that you see online that you're interested in, you upload it on their website and it will give them a skeleton. So you'll be able to, do the walking animation, sitting animation, move the jaw when you're talking, things like that.
So what happens when that dries up and it's not affordable? That's pretty much a key component right now to making that barrier of entry low, right?
Well, that would be like the easiest way to do it. Actually, I already learned on Blender how to make the skeleton yourself, and it's not difficult at all. I mean, I'm not someone from a computer science background, and sure, I'm a techie person, but it's not, it wasn't rocket science to figure this out. It was actually pretty simple.
Awesome. And then I think we're going to see more and more people not just assisting, but some people just want to purchase an avatar, and so there'll be those people that can bring in an avatar or maybe even create one from scratch for them. And I'm really excited to see that sort of market.
The VRChat store.
Sure. I think we can learn a lot from Second Life, who they have a lot of people. I don't know, it could be the VRChat store, it could just be Kirito's store. Who knows how that's going to all play out. But that the people that can create the content can totally do that and give it away or sell it.
How about Gunter Mart?
Yes, that's all called Gunter Time Zone and Gunter Shopping Center. I'm going to just lay.
I think it's important to have, just the more options, the better. People that don't want to, go through the work of making one, sure, they can purchase one. They can. There will be eventually an avatar store, as you said, and the people that want something that they build from themselves from scratch. I mean, it's all doable. The programs are free. It just takes a little bit of hard work.
Yeah, or commissioning someone to do that work for you, because some people they want to come on my show and they just need a new avatar right now. So
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love it. And I think we can learn a lot from Second Life. Of course, that space that has a ton of custom content. And some people here are played in that realm a lot. Somebody here, her name is Cindy, and she's done huge events in Second Life, and really is excited about VRChat and being able to use the Unity engine to which has tons of resources and assets to utilize all of that to create some amazing spaces for her job and for these events that she'll be running hopefully in the future. So we have some sort of Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero-ish. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sub-Zero.
Yeah, so
do you have a Godzilla?
Oh, I do not have a Godzilla.
Olivier, one of my French friends, he a long time ago he brought in the Iron Giant, and it was the scale basically. So
oh yeah, I remember that.
Iron Giant was awesome.
Things are, they're small to large, and your perspective scales to it as well. Like the tiny man VR.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm forgetting your name. That's Reality Check VR. Jesus. Caleb, you were a tiny man just a second ago.
Yeah,
so his
for a little
perspective
bit.
would have been from there, yeah. Or if you were giant, it would be right there. Like I'm pretty tall in this avatar, so I'm actually from that perspective.
Yeah, the tiny avatar is really cool, especially to see everybody looking so large from such a small distance. Oh yeah, this is a demo that wow, okay. So this demo is just coming out tomorrow. It's not out yet actually.
I wanted to share with you something that I got a little heads up in an email from Nathan Pullard. We'll call him Nathaniel, like his mom would when he's in trouble. Nathaniel here sent me a nice little message saying that Faceted Flight, which some of you might have downloaded a while ago.
Oh, so I can skip through a bit.
Yeah, it's not about like I kind of just read through their stuff in a really cheesy way with effects, and then it's 7 minutes. About 7 minutes, I think I actually play it.
We're gonna play it now. And
now, yeah, right.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
So yeah, they're going to be starting a Kickstarter here soon. So you can get the demo free of download, but they're going to be trying to make a full game.
And we have the mode Ring Attack. We can change to the Stillwater Gorge, prototype airfield, back to the Ciminette Islands. All right, we're gonna do Ring Attack. Let's go. I want to go to the normal one. I've never done the Gorge. I played this one for about 20 seconds just to test it and jump back out, and it was fun then. So you've got afterburner and a thruster for your sticks.
And you can jump ahead if you want. I take forever to do stuff.
Sure, and I'm gonna.
Alright, and you can see just by me moving the stick right now, it's working. So let's go. Press A.
I've got the transducer chair I'm actually using during this. So I've got 50 or 100 watts of transducer underneath me, which is about 200 pounds of pressure, and then I've also got the transducers in the back. So even a simple game with polygons is really immersive as far as how it feels. And whoa, it's pretty washed out. Everything's got the polygon effect to it, and it has a really floaty feel to it, but it's really fun to play.
Let's make a video. Hey buddy, hey, woo!
Wow, it's pretty washed out.
Explore, actually. 12 out of 30. There's no way you can get 30.
Can you control the brightness in here, Gunter? Is that what's going on?
You guys are so...
Or is that your texture? The white? Really bright.
Oh,
well, I know you can't really see here if you watch it on the normal YouTube.
You couldn't hear me.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. So normally it's good. Today, because of the build change, it's all the lighting's messed up. So
it's okay.
Oh yeah,
no. So the video's been.
That's right.
I appreciate you even taking a look at it.
Cool,
I know that the guy that developed it, his name is actually Matthew Scott, and he's a developer that spent time actually making games like Oddworld, and he worked with Valve and did Portal 1, 2, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, and Half-Life 2 episodes. So he opened up his new game studio called the Department of Silly Stuff, and he's going to start making purely DK2, purely VR-related content. So every game he makes is just based on VR capabilities and completely built from the ground up for VR. So it's really nice to have a guy like that making stuff that's from such prestigious companies.
Yeah, for sure. Oddworld's great. Cool. So your channel is Reality Check VR, and you can watch that video not washed out there.
Yeah.
So,
And
Faceted Flying.
We just made it public. We just made it public for this episode, so.
Yep. First.
Live.
Get the scoop. Thanks, dude.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to go pick up the wife. I'll come back and hang out with you guys later. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got to go, Gunter.
Yeah, this is it. So let's wrap it up. It did go a bit long, but it's kind of hard to not do that, and I'm still learning how to be a decent host here and move things along. But that's pretty much it. I really thank all my guests and audience here. It's been great. Let's go around, and if you guys have anything to plug, Mike, RiftMax, anything else besides what we've talked about, just wait and see.
There's going to be a little thing with the VR Philly meetup. I promised Tyler, but T. Roach, but
yeah,
that's probably going to be kind of closed off. And in a couple weeks, check out the event calendar, because I think we're going to have a kickoff party, and you can see what the new RiftMax is all about.
Cool. And Shannon, of course, we've been promoting the Indiegogo campaign, so anywhere else we should point people besides bmanvr.com, or that take care of it?
No, that's got that. But by the way, I also host, if you guys are into web VR, I also host the Silicon Valley WebGL meetup.
Nice.
And if you go to meetup.com, there it is. Of course, you have to be in Silicon Valley to get there, but this month we have the Chrome team, the Mozilla team, Tony Parisi, and Daiquiri, guys that are in the AR space. It's going to be hosted at Daiquiri, not at headquarters, but one of their buildings. So anyway, it's all about WebGL and WebVR stuff. So if you're interested, sign up. It's free. And obviously go to bmanvr.com and help me with this Indiegogo, man. Spread the word. I need you guys to help. I really do.
Tell somebody, if anybody you think's interested in this, definitely tell them, all your VR buddies, and tell a friend that'll tell a friend. All that stuff really does help and really does work. 3 weeks left. I'll keep talking about it on every show too. I'm really excited. I want to talk to you more about it after the show. Cris, who's also going to Burning Man, of course, you point everybody to EnterVR. Is it .com or net? I forget.
It's .net.
.net, yeah. Anywhere else you want to point them to, or what was your latest episode?
The last one was with the developers of Shadows of Isolation. It's a really good DK2 experience. I really enjoyed it. It reminds me of The Chair by Fruxios. But this one has this one has a very lucid dream landscape-esque sort of vibe to it that I really enjoy. Anyways, that's me, EnterVR.net, at EnterVR on Twitter, and check out VRcasters, and please back the Indiegogo campaign for Burning Man VR. And Gunter, thank you so much for hosting.
The Isolation game, that's a great game. We played that. If you want to check out the Isolation game, check out the channel. My wife played it as well, so
I had you on the old show, and now I have you on the new show, and it's really, the circle is complete. Thank you. And speaking of Fruxious, he designed this avatar, so I want to give him props for that, not normally just watch it out. And yeah, Shannon, I mean, it's been great, Mike. Haczar, I don't know if there's much to point people to for you, but I think you would encourage people to come out and meet you, talk about Unity, and that they can ask some questions on how to do avatars, I imagine.
Totally, yeah. Just usually I'll be in VRChat on my off time. If you see me, walk up to me. Any questions you may have, anything you think I can help you with, I'm happy to help.
How about an email address?
Sure.
Or Twitter.
Well,
what do you...
I do have a Twitter and an email. My email is Haczar, which is spelled above, Criollo, CRIOLLO @gmail, and Twitter is same, Haczar Criollo at Twitter. So yeah, just reach me and I'll be prompt.
What was the last name again?
Criollo, CRIOLLO. CRIO. Wait,
I'm already.
It's all right.
CRIOLLO. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
correct.
I got it. Yeah. Anyways, awesome.
Yeah.
Twitter and email. Gmail, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
We'll put all that in the notes, and people viewing at home can, of course, rewind. So that's great. But yeah, you're here a lot. Every Sunday, of course, we're hanging out at the meetup. That's really the best time to come in and get help and learn and go on a quite the adventure through all the
thing here. So you know, together we can make it happen.
Yeah, the community here is friendly, mature, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so if you guys have any questions that are watching, please feel free to tweet or email me if you would like a certain guest on the show or would like to be a guest or any feedback. That would be great. You can find all my contact information on guntersuniverse.com. There's quick little buttons there that can bring you to my Skype or Steam or any of that good stuff. So reach out. Next week we will have Drash, who is the developer of Tactical on the game one of the Game Jam entries, as well as he made Darknet, part of the DK1 Game Jam. We'll also have Coda Frost, who created Phase Shift, and Overdrive, who developed
Bye,
Captain
guys.
Clark's Adventure.
I'm leaving right now.
Are,
I gotta go pick up the wife.
Game Jam entries. So
I love
it's gonna
her
be an interesting show
more than
next
virtual
week.
reality.
Again, big thanks to guests and audience and to all my helpers, Kenny, Ortath, Tom, Kirito, and Olivier, who designed this set, who is going to be having building the synthesis universe that we've all been seeing and teasing, so it's great. And thanks to the VRChat devs here who make it all happen for us. We have this great platform.
I'm happy to be here.
They've been a great friend along the way. And thanks to anybody else that I'm forgetting. So join us here next Tuesday, 9:30, and yeah, keep it real, everybody. It's been a great time. See ya.
Thanks, Gunters.
Been waiting for that music the whole time.
Right, did it. Thanks.
Wait for the music. Woohoo! Alright, I'm leaving now.
Good job, everybody.
Alright, see ya. Get out of here. Pick up the
Peace,
wife.
guys. I love you guys. I miss you. Sorry, bye.
I love you too. In virtual reality is really no time, right? So it's hard.
Yeah, what time are you talking about? What time is it here?
Time. Gunter time.
That's right.
It's Gunter time. I'm just gonna make up the VR time and call it Gunter time. And there we go. Gunter time.
The metaverse is going to fuck with our circadian rhythms.
Hey Gunter, I got a quick question, man. If you have any extra time at any point in it, it's of course if you don't, it's not a big deal. There's a demo coming out tomorrow in a Kickstarter that they're launching tomorrow morning, and they sent me a video or a message about it. So I made a video. Anyhow, I'm gonna make it public tonight. If you wanted to show it here at any point, you definitely or parts of it you can. It's a flying game called Faceted Flight. You might have heard of it. It came out on Rift Arcade a while ago, and it's pretty sweet. It's a really cool polygon style flying game, and I love it. So.
That's an awesome game. I've played that.
Right,
it's really cool.
So they updated it, and they've got a free demo coming out with their Kickstarter tomorrow, so anybody can download it and of course play it. It's really cool. So.
What's it called again? Yeah.
It's called Faceted Flight, and yeah, it's like I said, it's like a polygon world, but you have a little hovercraft jet, and you can fly through rings, and it's like they say it's like Sonic in a jet plane, so it's pretty fun. But yeah, I kind of threw a little video together as fast as I could, and I've got it ready to click over to public as soon as I can. But also,
yeah,
I
it's quite cool actually. You want me to show your video or show just a little bit of the game somewhere else?
Yeah, so I can make the video public if you want. I can send you a link in the main chat. So also VR Gaming Evolve.
I'll go on your page right now.
Quick question: is everybody here says what is it? Oculus runtime 0.600. I was wondering how many people actually use that, because when I had that, I had a lot of problems here in VRChat and other games, and I didn't realize it until VR Gaming Evolve and Immersive Gamer told me about it. They were like, we don't use that crap.
Yeah, well, to be honest, mate, I don't think it's a problem with the runtime itself. I think it's a problem with other programs needing updated, like games that haven't been updated to use it properly yet.
Right, that makes sense. It's just, yeah, it's like, it seemed like when I tried the Louvre out the first time, it was being all weird with my head tracking, and of course I thought it was the program, and I realized later it was the runtime with the program together, because as soon as I, rolled back, everything worked perfect, including VRChat.
Yeah, some stuff's good with it, some stuff's not, so I'm using 5.1 until I see updates for other things.
I'm gonna go ahead and,
I love the music.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna go ahead and just make that link public, so it'll be the first video on my page here in just a second. Never.
I don't prefer music in my pornography. I know that.
So
Anyways.
whose cat is this?
It doesn't handle.
Seriously, whose cat is it? Cat versus Miniman. Fight!
Like it.
Okay, so reality check. Did you publish that video?
Yep, I just threw it up, so you should see it there on as the next, or the newest video.
And if I forget, like, there's gonna be audience question time, shout out time, whatever you want to, whatever you like to talk about at the end. So if I forget about Faceted Flight, just remind me then, and we'll play it then. It takes a lot of focus to do this sort of show.
Not a big deal, man. You're the boss.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. I'll load up the behind me with my website. In the trade.
We'll do it every, I guess maybe like 10 minutes. Just kind of move around a little bit. Maybe some random.
Sounds good. Or if you feel like between topics, maybe between topics actually would be really cool. Right?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea.
And we can easily find them. We did do the whole time stamping thing. People want that. 27 people here. Kirito, it's nice to see you. I just see you just walked in. We're getting started. I keep saying we're getting started for the last 45 minutes, but we really are getting started here. Adam J. I don't think we've met before. How are you guys?
I think time actually moves faster when you're in VR. Like legitimately.
I agree.
Hey everybody.
Alright, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Gunter. Deep Rift there. Fucking Kyle.
Joe.
Whoa.
The other thing, Kenny, is to definitely show all the different avatars around too. That could benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right in here.
First.
Maybe not.
Or no, it's not, actually. It's my second.
Hold on one second.
I made it today.
Check.
Reality check, yeah, you're all green. Don't worry, I'm working on another micro avatar so you can swap into my hangout at some point and go and get
like
it
it's
when it's
working,
all
Shannon.
built up and ready.
Hey, mic check.
No?
Can you hear me now?
No, I couldn't see you.
Yeah, I can see
Yes,
you.
sir.
You're
You're good.
very small.
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we will begin as soon as everybody is done admiring Tom's wonderfully heavenly. You actually should be sitting right in the middle of this heavenly table that we have the last half hour. Shannon, you're looking up and around. Oh, there you go. You're looking good. So you're ready to go, Shannon?
You're welcome. Cool.
Mike, did you say all right?
Sorry about that.
Hey, where's
Yeah,
Cris
but what
go?
happened to Cris? Oh, Cris back.
Well, I'm really, stoked, man. There's a lot of people here. Collaboration with Road to VR to put up that event calendar that has a lot of social VR events on there. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. Good job.
Exactly.
Good job.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah, I love the clap. It's the first time we've had that. Could you do that when there's other good times to clap? I really like that. Yeah, Cris. So yeah, thank you. And I'm sure those that are new here, thanks for coming. We do this every Tuesday in VRChat. We also do a Sunday meetup in the evening here. There's many other social platforms like AltSpace, Converge, Janus, and RiftMax that is making its comeback that we're going to talk with the developer Mike Arms here in just a moment about. So it's great. The calendar is there for the people, the users, the ones that like to attend, hang out, be a part of things, and now you can slide from event to event easily, and I love it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Gunter.
Yes, thanks, Gunter.
Mike, you're good. We're ready.